Well, it's nearly 1 a.m. and I went to the Creator concert tonight and it was absolutely amazing. It really was. In Flames opened for Creator and Creator played such a great show. But on my long drive back from Melbourne to my house, I thought of a video and this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I love albums that tell a precise and intricate story. And in this video, I'm going to give you my favorite concept albums of all time. There has been some incredible albums over the past telling unique and stunning stories in their music. So, pop your favorite concept albums down below. In this video, we're actually going to dive deep into the stories of the albums. Each band has mastered their stories to share. It's just like reading a book, comprehending what they are saying. Music is a gift of life, and I personally believe that music can change the way you feel. This list will be in no particular order. I just want to tell you all of the wonderful and gruesome stories out there. A lot of people will just listen and not understand what is being said lyrically in songs. We're not really going to talk about the music in this. It will just be pure storytelling. Sure, we will talk about sounds of the album. Anyway, I'm rambling, so let's start. So let's start with Opeth's Still Life. Well, this album is one of my favorite albums of all time. This is Opeth's fourth studio album after they released another concept album before this, My Arms, Your Hearse, and that's a masterpiece as well. They released this back in 1999. Still Life explores themes around tragedy that involves a murderous rampage. They can tell an intricate story throughout the album, which left me in awe once I first heard it, when Opeth were prog death. But they do throw elements of prog rock, death metal, and a tinge of folk. So the story kicks off with a protagonist that is banished out of his own town years ago. He returns back to town after many years. We don't know why he has returned. Was it because of his past love? I'm not too sure, but it's likely he wanted to make amends. He's confronted by his past loved ones when he arrived in town and things turn into shit. This album explores that this girl probably was involved in a cult. The town is some kind of cult or heavily religious, some kind of oppression. Pretty sure the past love is named Melinda. The cult have discovered Melinda as a witch and she's about to enter the gallows, like probably sentenced to death. Remember, this is my interpretation. The protagonist's duty is to rescue Melinda. Pretty sure he gets captured and the song Serenity Burnt to Death. He goes on a fucking murderous rampage. They get to Melinda and he is also sentenced to death during the climatic White Cluster. From the mournful Benighted to the epic The More and the climatic White Cluster, Opeth's musical prowess enhances the storytelling. The intricate guitar work, dynamic shifts, and Mikael Åkerfeldt's versatile vocals convey the emotional depth of the characters and tragedy that befalls them. So yeah, I love this album and the story that's accompanied with it. Truly one of the best concept albums of all time. We can't forget about Rush 2112. This album makes you appreciate the gift of music. What an incredible album this is, the progressive nature of it. Geddy Lee vocals so damn good for those that have been living under a rock. Rush is a Canadian prog rock band. They released 2112 in 1976, I think. Note to self, research your fucking history of the albums before you start filming, you fuckhead. Anyway, it tells a story of a dystopian world, the future in 2112. Let's talk about the story. In the dystopian world depicted in Rush's 2112, the protagonist's discovery of the guitar symbolizes a reawakening of the individuality and the creativity in a society dominated by the oppressive priests of the temples of Syrinx, I think. The temples control every aspect of life, including art, music, and even individual thought, just like in our government here in Australia. The protagonist's introduction of the guitar and the joy he experiences through music become a symbolic act of rebelling against the conformity imposed by the ruling elite. However, his attempt to share this newfound creativity is met with harsh rejection by the priests who dismiss the guitar and its potential for individual expression. The destruction of the guitar and the protagonist's subsequent despair underscore the consequences of a society that suppresses artistic freedom and stifles individuality. The song's conclusion, with the character taking his own life, reflects the tragedy outcome of a world devoid of personal expression and creativity. So yeah, this is another masterpiece. Rush is incredible on this album. Lots of emotion. He dies at the end, by the way. I feel the awesome story tells you that discovering music or an instrument can change a person's life. So next up is Wasp, the Crimson Idol. Okay, this is like up there to be the best concept album of all time. There is so much you have to digest, such a creative ending as well. So Wasp released the Crimson Idol back in 1992. It's the fourth studio album. Before that, they weren't focusing on storytelling in the music, but they changed the scene when they released one of the best fucking storytelling albums of all time. So let's talk about this story. In The Crimson Idol, the character Jonathan faces the challenges of fame and the expectations placed upon him by the society. The album's narrative explores the conflicts between personal desires and external pressures, highlighting the toll that the music industry and fame can take on an individual's mental and emotional well-being. As Jonathan grapples with his inner demons, the Crimson Idol serves as both a depressing and a mean of expressing his struggles. This is what happens when you get too big and you struggle with the fame, and Jonathan struggles with the workload and fans. The ending is fucking brutal. He performs live on stage in front of a sold out crowd. He contemplates suicide. With the 6 strings on the guitar, he ties a noose with it and hangs himself in front of his own fans, and they are witnessing a heinous act. This is another masterpiece. I fucking love this album. So much emotion on this. It's more of a heavy metal based orientated album, and Blackie Lawless vocals are so good on this. Just to think Jonathan commits suicide in front of a live crowd, in front of his fans, if it was real life, it'd be all over the news. If an artist did that, it definitely tells a story of a musician that is struggling with fame and his demons. Okay, next up is the black metal band Karak Angren and their masterful album, This Is No Fairy Tale. I fucking love this album. Incredible and silly story at the same time, but it works. It's so fluent and the music is badass. This is as close as theatrical you can get on an album that is black metal. So this is their 5th studio album, and it was released in 2015, I think. So a fairly new album on the list. The majority of the albums are concept albums, but this one brings it to the next caliber. So the story goes like this. 2 children are stuck in a home filled with domestic violence. The father is abusing both mother and the children. The brother and sister's objective is to escape the house and run away to find help. The monstrous father is one step ahead when he catches the children running away. He discovers them on an obscure road near home, then shit hits the fan. They discover the mother has committed suicide in the bathtub. It was that moment when they agreed to run away again while the father was asleep. They run and encounter a clown on the swings. He drugs them and later they wake up trapped in a house. From then, the album goes fucking mental, with the clown who has been discovered as a demon butchers the little boy as a sister watches. Then she is forced to eat him. The clown reminds of serial killer John Wayne Gacy. The girl is forced into a cage where she is meant to spend the rest of her life because the clown, which is now being possessed as a demon, will not let her go. I actually won't spoil the rest of the story because it's too good, but it questions what's real or not in reality, and it's a complete mind fucked by the end of it. Yeah, this album is so good. Fucking love it. One of my favorite black metal albums of all time. Okay, now we go to my favorite band of all time, Iron Maiden, and their concept album, Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. This album was released in 1988, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. I fucking love this. I fucking love this album and story behind it. It's a pretty straightforward plot, but the songs on here are just classic, amazing musicianship, and Bruce's vocals are incredible on this. The album follows the journey of the seventh son, born to a seventh son who possesses clairvoyant powers. As he navigates a world filled with mystical elements, including a sea, ancient prophecies, and supernatural forces, the story unfolds throughout the lyrics of the song, creating cohesive and immersive narrative throughout the album. The overarching theme reflects on the challenges and consequences of wielding such extraordinary abilities. There's not much to say about the story. This is just that the music tells a story. The self-titled track is a 10-minute masterpiece. Seventh son of a seventh son, seventh son of a seventh son. Throughout the album, listeners witness the seventh son's internal conflicts as he grapples with the weight of his destiny and the choices he must make. The seer, a key character, guides him through a surreal and fantastical realm. As the story unfolds, the lyrics and music creates a vivid atmosphere that complements the narrative, making Seventh Son of a Seventh Son a captivating exploration of the supernatural, fate, and human psyche. We are edging closer to my number one favorite concept album of all time, but first we have to cast our mind back to another album in 1988. Queensryche released masterful album Operation Mindcrime. This album is incredible. It's a prog album with all the thrills and spills. Some incredible songs on this. The story is incredibly in depth and there's so much happening. Political charge and complex story. The narrative revolves around a man named Nicky who becomes a pawn in a sinister political conspiracy orchestrated by a secret organization. Nicky is manipulated into carrying out assassinations and other criminal acts as part of a larger scheme to control society. The story delves into themes of manipulation, rebellion, and the consequences of blind obedience. Nicky eventually starts questioning his actions and the motives behind the organization, leading to a rebellious awakening. The album explores the psychological toll of being a pawn in a political game, and Nicky's journey becomes a gripping tale of personal struggle and defiance against the oppressive forces at play. Yeah, this album is so good, I adore it. Okay, my favorite concept album of all fucking time is, drumroll, Dream Theater, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from Memory. This was released in 1999 and it's a prog album. Of course it is. Dream Theater manages to harness the listener into such an intricate and elaborate story all about reincarnation, a past life, and solving a murder mystery. Really, Jamie? Is that all you can say? You fuckhead. Anyway, I'll try my best with the story. It tells a complex and intriguing story. As Nicholas continues his journey through the past, he becomes increasingly entangled in the, tragic events of Victoria and Julian's lives. The narrative takes an unexpected twist, revealing the complexities of the relationships and the motives behind the murder. Alongside the hypnotic sessions, there are moments of introspection, regret, and self-discovery for Nicholas as he grapples with the implications of his connection to the past. The climax of the album builds towards a revelation, providing closure to the story and bringing to light the consequences of actions spanning different lifetimes. The album concludes with a poignant reflection of the cyclical nature of life and enduring impact of love and tragedy. Scenes from a Memory stands as a masterful example of progressive metal storytelling, seamlessly blending intricate musicality with a compelling and emotionally charged narrative. Okay, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sound your favorite concept albums of all time down below. I did miss a few that I love, but this video will be too fucking long. Like Ahab Call of the Wretched Seas, one of my favorite albums of all time, isn't even on this. Anyway, can't be fucked. I'm tired. It's been fun, and I'll see you in the next one.